Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. If you don't know me, I'm the Mark of the Masses, the man with the plan. Big Ray here to stay. Talk some Impact today, 1/30/2014. Before I jump into this, I want to quickly direct you to Andre Corbeil on YouTube. Follow him at Andre Corbeil or Andre_Corbeil on Twitter. Of course, follow me at Big Ray Show. Now, we had a great show this week. Actually, today, I think 2 or 3 hours before Impact Live, we had the beautiful, the vibrant, the perfect, Portugal's perfect athlete, the beautiful Shanna. Yes, you can follow her at Shanna_WP. And guys, when you hashtag Shanna, when we want to bring Shanna into TNA, guys, please show your support. Hashtag Shanna, the number 4, TNA. We want to see her as a knockout. Please support our friend Shanna. Ladies and gentlemen, so now, a lot of stuff. I gotta be honest with you. For a 2-hour show, I took a hell of a lot of notes. And it's late. So let's quickly jump into the show. Now we have Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe trying to get at Magnus, EC3, and Rockstar Spud being stopped by security. Now the Icons thing is shown. The video clip is shown of him walking out. Now allegedly, and I will say allegedly because nothing is 100% confirmed yet. Well, allegedly, Sting has signed a Legends deal with the WWE. Well, that takes him out of the picture. So now we have Magnus in the ring, and Magnus basically starts cutting a promo stating how it's not friend biz, it's showbiz. Showbiz. Business. Not show friends, show biz. And then he goes to say that Dixie Carter himself, Dixieland, are going to begin to start putting over young talent. But he, of course, names, Rockstar Spud, and he names everyone else except for EC3. EC3 didn't look too happy about that. And he actually said that he single-handedly won the World Heavyweight Championship. Well, EC3, again, not happy. And he gets in the face of Magnus. But as this is all going on, as this is falling apart, we have Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle's music, and it hits. And Kurt Angle comes down to, well, basically, they both cut a promo, and they say, Kurt Angle says that he is here for revenge. And he talks about how Sting was screwed, how Jeff Hardy was screwed, how AJ Styles was screwed. And then they proceed to call, well, Joe proceeds to call him a paper champion. Kurt Angle, a paper champion. And the paper champion chant breaks out in Glasgow, Scotland. What a cool venue to see wrestling, man. On TV, man, those guys, let me tell you, that crowd was really hot. So Kurt Angle says that, basically, a long story short, that he invited Magnus into the Main Event Mafia to become something. And Magnus says, well, I was already something. That's why you invited me into the Main Event Mafia. Well, anyway, long story short, Joe takes the mic and he says he wants to fight. And he says, sure, we'll fight, but if you lose, then, one of us get a world title shot. And EC3 says, well, if you lose, I'm sorry, not EC3, Magnus says, if you lose, well, you gotta leave TNA and join your boys. Well, Dixie Carter comes out. She does not want to have anything to do with this match. She says no. Well, Magnus basically comes and overrides Dixie Carter, stating to the two men in the ring, we have a deal. So, ladies and gentlemen, later tonight in the main event, it will be EC3 tagging with Magnus for a spot at the World Heavyweight Championship between Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle. But remember, if Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe lose, well, they're gone. So anyway, so we jump to the backstage and we see a limo pulling up. And out come the American Wolves. Alright, we quickly move on. And we have Velvet Sky and Madison Rayne versus Lady Top and Gail Kim. This was a relatively quick match, and I'm going to tell you really quickly, I took a lot of notes, like I said. I don't know if I said it before, I took a lot of notes, and it's because there was a lot of promo, a lot of story building, and not too much wrestling going on tonight. Long story short, after Lady Tapa is taken out, by Madison Rayne from the apron with a drop kick to the knee, sending Lady Topper's face into the mat outside the ring. Velvet Sky hits the butterfly wings for the 1, 2, 3. She pins Gail Kim. Now, Chris Sabin then comes into the ring, and he is pissed off. He's angry, and Chris Sabin says that, well, basically, you know, he calls Velvet Sky. Oh, I'm sorry, he calls Madison Rayne a tramp. He says, "Get out of the ring. You know, I want to talk to my girlfriend." And then he tells Velvet Sky, "Listen, you got one chance. You got one chance to say I'm sorry. Then you go back there, massage me, and we'll all be all right." Well, Velvet Sky says she has one word for him, and that word is, "We are done." Well, Velvet Sky is single. You got your man. But anyway, we move on, and of course we know, you know, these guys are really dating in real life, or married, or something like that. Anyway, so backstage we have Joe and Angle, and they basically go at Bobby Roode, and they warn Bobby Roode, do not interfere. Joe even wraps his hands around Bobby Roode's neck and says, if you, well, basically, if you know what's good for you, don't interfere. The reason why I haven't finished the job and taken you out right now, well, is because I want to deal with you later. So, as they walk away, Bobby Roode sits there and he smiles. What does he have up his sleeve? I guess we'll find out later. Now we go to another promo with Cowboy James Storm and Gunner, and it's a long-winded promo, and I'm not going to really jump into all of it, but basically Cowboy James Storm starts cutting a promo on the past friendship between he and Gunner. Then Gunner comes to the ring and he starts talking about how he was a Marine and how he got his name being Gunner because he was obviously had bullets flying by his head, and you know, I gotta be honest with you, Gunner actually cut a pretty good promo, but Bad Influence comes into the ring and they call Gunner and Cowboy James Storm a couple of monkey farts. Well, anyway, Kaz basically says, we want to fight you for that briefcase. If one of us wins, we win a briefcase. But can you trust your buddy, your Cowboy James Storm buddy, Beardy? Yes, they would call, yes. Gunner was called Beardy. So anyway, so they start going at it, and the match basically starts. And long story short, we have Daniels, who basically tries to interfere from the outside, and Daniels gets a super kick from Cowboy James Storm inside the ring, having the back of Gunner. Gunner comes off the top rope at the end of the match with a flying headbutt for the 1, 2, 3. Guys, Kaz is pinned. I guess for now, Cowboy James Storm has Gunner's back. I don't know, I see this friendship actually deteriorating. Again, my opinion. I would like to know what your opinion is. Please leave your comments here below at onewrestling.com or YouTube/OneWrestlingVideo. Now, backstage, Dixie Carter is absolutely losing it. She says she wants to know who the investor is. Now, while all this is going on, Bobby Roode, it's a stressful situation, and Bobby Roode comes, and Bobby Roode says, look, you know, Dixie, you promised me multiple occasions that I was getting a title shot. And Dixie did not want to deal with it. And then she starts writing a check, and Bobby was like, look, I don't want your money. You got 1 week to figure this out. And if you don't figure this out, you know what? We're done. But in the meantime, no more favors. Bobby Roode out of the equation. Well, now we have Rockstar Spud. And Rockstar Spud comes to the ring, cuts a nice little heel promo, and he basically calls out, and then he calls Scotland the B team, or England's B team, which is just not right. And not true, by the way. He calls out the American Wolves, and he's being belligerent, he's yelling, he's basically screaming at these guys. He wants answers. I want to know who the investors are. And he slaps Davey Richards, which wasn't a good idea for Rockstar Spud. And long story short, they basically start taking off their jackets, and well, long story short, they beat the living hell out of Rockstar Spud, taking the little guy out. And there was something really important. I want you guys to listen to this. Eddie Edwards gets on the mic and he says they, not he, but they are interested in tonight's match. And no one will interfere unless, and if they do, they will get fired. Go back. Go back. He didn't say he didn't say she. He said they. So whoever this investor is that comes out tonight, is it more than one? Friends of AJ? Anyway, so we have Abyss and Eric Young versus the Bromans. And guys, if you guys don't know, a long time friend, correspondent, and family of OneWrestling.com, Sir Steve Linsky, was the referee for tonight's match, and he will be refereeing a lot of the matches in the UK tour for TNA. Steve Linsky, he did a great job tonight, man. So big shout out to our boy, our friend, Mr. Steve Linsky, OneWrestling.com correspondent. Really cool to see Steve in the ring. He was a former pro wrestler. He wrestled all over the UK. If you guys don't know, check out OneWrestling.com. Steve Linsky's got a lot of good stuff here with Bill Apter and by himself. He also has his own YouTube pages. Look him up, guys. Really cool. But anyway, great to see Steve Linsky on American TV. First time making his American TV debut as a referee. Really cool. So we have Linsky refereeing. We have Abyss basically towards the end of the match, and he's cleaning house. And he has Zema Ion, who's trying to interfere in this match, and he puts him in a choke slam. And Steve, what are you doing, bro? Steve proceeds to put his hands on Abyss, and Abyss picks him up and puts him up in a shock treatment, and EY is begging him to not do it. Well, he hits the shock treatment on our poor friend, Mr. Steve Linsky. The referee is taken out, and obviously the match is thrown out, and then he proceeds to choke slam Eric Young. Now, he starts to walk out of the ring, and Eric Young starts saying, you know what? You want to get crazy? You want to get crazy? Well, I invented crazy. He challenges Abyss next week to a Monsters Ball match. Looking to be pretty damn interesting next week. So now we go to the home of Samuel Shaw, where he's having a glass of wine with the beautiful Christy Hemme, and really freaking weird, all shot in black and white. I love what they're doing with this character. He takes her up to his bedroom, and he just has like a mattress, it looks like. It's weird. And then he's leaning over, and I think he kind of pulls a piece of hair. Actually, it may have been the thing that's, oh no, I'm sorry. He pulls off that, I forget what you call it, the little rubber band. Anyway, whatever that holds the woman's hair in a ponytail, he pulls that off. He goes, oh, I like to see your hair down. You look more pretty. And the thing is that, Christy Hemme, I thought she was married. What the hell is she doing in this guy's house? But anyway, Christy Hemme hanging out with with the American Psycho, and then she knocks on his door. Oh, what's in here? No, nothing's in here. Why don't you wait for me upstairs? And he's got one hell of a creepy ass shrine for Christy Hemme. Really creepy pictures all over the place, and then he has this poster of Christy Hemme with this red hair, and he takes the little, whatever the hell it is, the rubber band, and he puts it on. Creepy. Really loving the direction of this character. Again, I want to know what you guys think. Please leave your comments here below. Leave your comments here below at OneWrestling.com and YouTube /OneWrestling video. Now we have Bully Ray in another promo, and Bully Ray comes to the ring with a coffin. And long story short, because this is another promo that I thought went a little long, he basically challenges Mr. Anderson after saying to Mr. Anderson that he wants to pile drive Mr. Anderson's wife and his children. And let me tell you something. Anybody said that to me, I will punch them in the face. But Mr. Anderson obliges to a casket match. I'm assuming he obliges to a casket match. He actually grabs the top of the casket and throws it and hits Bully Ray in the face. Then goes into the ring and proceeds to attack Bully Ray over and over again with a steel chair. Now we're gonna quickly move on. Backstage we have Magnus, and he's going back and forth with EC3. He basically calls him a rookie. He says he's green, and he's really putting down EC3. You can go cry to your auntie, and EC3 says, you know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like you're just making excuses just in case we lose. Dixie Carter comes in. Everything looks peachy keen. We move on. If Kurt Angle and his tag team partner Samoa Joe lose this match, they are out of TNA Wrestling. But if they win, whoever gets the pin or submission, they get a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, towards the end of the match, we have EC3, and he is outside the ring with Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle hitting a huge belly-to-belly suplex on EC3, taking him out, which leaves Samoa Joe all alone with Magnus. And from behind, puts him in the rear naked choke. And yes, guys, the World Heavyweight Championship, the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, taps out the rear naked choke. So now Samoa Joe takes the mic, and he basically says, you are looking at the #1 contender. Shine up my belt, son, because Joe is gonna kill you. Dixie Carter comes down the ring, and she says, oh, I told you so, I told you so, I knew something like this could happen, how could this happen, blah, 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 blah. And then she starts to demand that the new investor shows his face. And he does. The American Wolves come out in their black suits, and right down the middle, some music hits. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been all over the internet. MVP is the TNA investor, but is he the only TNA investor? I don't think so, guys. It'll be really great to see MVP back in an American ring. It's been a while. I know he's been over in Japan for quite some time, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an Eventus Impact. Now, again, for my taste, too many promos. I really couldn't get into the show as much, but I understand that you have to build this story. Ladies and gentlemen, I say this every single week. I would do this for a living, but if I can, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Guys, please follow us here every single week at onewrestling.com, YouTube /OneWrestlingVideo. Follow us on Twitter at OneWrestling. Follow me on Twitter at Big Ray Show. Follow my good friend Bill Apter at Apter1Wrestling. Follow my Can-Am Connection tag team partner, Mr. Andre _Corbeil. And don't forget to check out the Can-Am Wrestling Show, hashtag Can-Am Wrestling Show, episode number 15, with our special guest, Portuguese perfect athlete, the beautiful, the vibrant, the talented Shanna. Follow her on Twitter at Shanna _WP. Guys, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next week. This show was really interesting. I want to hear from you guys. Leave your comments here below. Hit that like button. I'll talk to you next week. Peace.